Hello and welcome to the final in a series of videos I've been making about the Limestone Way in Derbyshire. Soon after moving here, I felt an irresistible desire to walk the full 46 miles of this footpath. The route is generally well marked by this logo of a green sheep's head inside a circle. Let's start with a few highlights. I wonder how many of these places you'll be able to recognise. Going from left to right, the answers are the cafe at Tissington, Dovedale from the summit of Thorpe Cloud, Ileham Hall with Thorpe Cloud in the distance, bridge over the River Dove at Lower Elliston, walking alongside the River Dove, and Rocester ancient Roman camp. As you can see from the map, this long-distance footpath is surrounded by several big cities. The Limestone Way starts at Castleton and runs mostly south through wonderful limestone scenery and small villages as far as Rocester. Obviously, you'll need the guidebook, which can be ordered from Derbyshire Dales District Council in Matlock. And don't forget to obtain the relevant map known as OL24. The route from Tissington to Rocester is just over 11 miles through pasture land and finally alongside the peaceful River Dove. Here are some of the villages along the way. The first section from Tissington to Thorpe is only 2 miles, but an optional ascent of Thorpe Cloud adds another mile or so and is highly recommended. There are one or two other diversions you might be interested in as well. For those who have even more time available, there are detours up Dovedale and to the National Trust property at Ileham Hall. So let's get started, and from where we left off before, in Tissington village. Starting from the cafe opposite the church, walk up the side of the road towards Ashbourne. Just before reaching the A515, there's an architecturally interesting house on the right. Note in the back garden what appears to be the dome of a miniature observatory. These notices in front of the house also suggest that an enthusiastic astronomer lives nearby. Coming back down to earth now, the Limestone Way crosses the A515 heading west towards Thorpe and Ileham. If running short of supplies or just wanting some time back in civilization, there's a bus route into Ashbourne, which is less than 5 miles away. If you do decide to visit Ashbourne, then I can recommend this little guidebook that concisely summarises the history and culture of this fascinating market town. Cross over to the other side of the road and walk down Washbrook Lane, then turn left over a stile into the valley bottom. Across the field, you will squeeze through a narrow stile, then meet the road again. Go straight across, then bear half left across the caravan park. Follow the footpath through another stile. You may encounter some friendly cows. Notice how the cows politely make way for walkers to pass between them. Go through the gate and across the field to join a narrow lane just south of Pike House. Bear left, then after 50 yards turn right off the lane into this field. The footpath descends through a series of stiles. At one point there are signs bearing the familiar logo of the National Trust and another sign warning of red flags and the risk of being shot at. It's a strange mixture indeed. Across the fields to the right, you'll see the magnificent profile of Thorpe Cloud. It reaches a modest altitude of 941 feet. However, the distinctive pyramidical shape is easily identifiable from miles away, especially from the south and the east. This looks like Derbyshire's version of the Matterhorn. If you do feel the urge to climb Thorpe Cloud, this will be the first of 3 detours that you might like to consider. Here's a map showing the Limestone Way with red dashes in the bottom right-hand corner. Thorpe Cloud is circled in red nearby. First continue through stiles to emerge at a road and the entrance to the Peveril of the Peak Hotel. The hotel is shown on the map inside a red circle at the top. The Limestone Way is shown as red dashes going through Thorpe Village. Continue down the road into the centre of Thorpe Village. Now, if you're taking the first of the detours to climb Thorpe Cloud, then follow the road around a sharp corner to the right. The red dots here show the road going northwest out of the village. After about 200 yards, take a footpath on the right. Then make your way across open fields. That's assuming no military warning flags are flying. In geological terms, this isolated limestone hill is a reef knoll that was formed about 330 million years ago in a tropical sea where the land was close to the equator. The ascent is quite steep in places, but the rewards from the summit are exceptional. This is looking down into Dovedale and the famous stepping stones. It's like being in an aircraft. I wouldn't get too close to the edge though if I were you. Thorpe Cloud was one of the film locations for Robin Hood, released in 2010 and starring Russell Crowe. Now for detour number 2, I can thoroughly recommend wandering up Dovedale as far as Milldale and back again. It's a circular walk of about 8 miles and takes 4 hours. To avoid the crowds, this walk is best done midweek and during school terms. A little guidebook like this can be worth the modest expenditure. Now, at the risk of getting into serious bother with whoever devised the Limestone Way, I must mention a third detour. Ileham Hall is only a couple of miles away to the west and can be reached from the centre of Thorpe Village by public bus service, taxi, or just cadging a lift. The location of Ileham Hall is shown here inside a red circle. The original hall was a large Elizabethan mansion built by the Port family. It is now a Victorian Gothic manor house owned by the National Trust and leased to the Youth Hostel Association. As you can see, the hall has some attractive gardens with great views across to Thorpe Cloud and Dovedale. An added attraction is the tea room and shop. The National Trust occasionally offers the public an opportunity to study the geology of the local limestone, for example, measuring the dip and strike of the rocks. Ileham Hall overlooks the River Manifold and the River Hamps. Much of these rivers flow underground, which has naturally excited the curiosity of cavers. This powerful spring, known as the Boil-Up, has been partly explored by cave divers. Sadly, in 1977, the flooded passage claimed the life of a cave diver. It is still regarded as one of the longest, deepest, and most dangerous in the UK. Even so, cave divers have now penetrated several hundred yards beneath Ileham Hall. This recently published book by Martin Wright describes many caving exploits across the Peak District and is nicely illustrated throughout. Meanwhile, I really must avoid going into any more distractions. We rejoin the Limestone Way back in Thorpe Village. Our next destination is Martine Hill. It's just over 2 miles away. An extra map is needed now, known as OS Explorer 259. The village green has a fingerboard attached to a telegraph pole. Descend the green for about 100 yards, then turn right across a tiny bridge. This is a view of the east end of the parish church of St Leonard. Bear right up Church Lane and rejoin the road at a T-junction. Then turn left and go to a gate which opens onto a quiet and gently descending track. It does get a bit steeper towards the bottom. In 1726, Caldwell Bridge was built over the River Dove. It carried a turnpike road linking the potteries with Ashbourne and Buxton. A milestone from the turnpike era still stands on the bridge. The River Dove serves as the boundary between Staffordshire and Derbyshire. Here's the view upstream towards Ilam. And now the view downstream. Cross the bridge to the gate on the other side. This is looking back towards Thorpe. And now, as you'd expect, there's a fairly strenuous uphill walk. On this particular day, passing cattle trying to find some shade. If you look carefully, the pyramidical shape of Thorpe Cloud can be seen in the distance. Pass through the farm gate and along the driveway to the side of Caldwell Farm and reach a minor road. On the other side of the road is a squeeze stile. Note the rather posh display board and follow the footpath as it descends the fields ahead. In the valley bottom, climb from the stream up to a stile within sight of wood houses, then turn left following the single track road. A sign at the gate says cows, calves and bull in the field. Through the gate, reach the summit of Martine Hill and enjoy a magnificent panorama. And now the penultimate stage of the Limestone Way, going on to Lower Elliston. It's a pleasant stroll of 4.5 miles. Just a reminder about the guidebook and the relevant ordnance survey map. From the summit of Martine Hill, descend to the busy A515, up the hill, and when safe, cross over. Turn left at a gap in the hedge to find an obscure stile. The Limestone Way is well marked across fields and stiles. The farm at Lord's Peace comes into view. The provision of a refrigerator offering ice creams on a self-service basis is a welcome innovation on a hot day. Go straight across the road and into open fields. I must admit to having wandered off the track for a short distance around here. Follow a path south along the ridgeway, despite cattle blocking the route in places. However, as we moved cautiously closer, the cows shifted across to the right and we walked through without any hassle at all. By now it was late summer and the hedges were full of delicious blackberries. The Limestone Way runs parallel to the farm track for a while and then moves away to the left of it. The village of Stanton is away in the distance at the foot, really, of the Pennine chain. Most of the walk is now along the ridge line with the ground falling away on both sides. It's very pleasant walking. Rejoin the track just before reaching Ashfield Farm. The fields around here are mostly empty, apart from a few scattered flocks of sheep. Bear left at a gate and follow the trackway through the hut's farmyard to reach another gate. Along the track, then skirting Aldercar Wood, following the boundary of another wood to your right. Then cross open fields through a stile alongside of a gate. Don't get drawn downhill towards a stile and Horwood Farm. Instead, keep going across the open fields to a gateway on the B5032. Watch out for fast-moving cars. Turn right for 80 yards walking down the side of the road, and at the bottom of the hill, go left through a stile just before the sign for Elliston. The track goes straight ahead and gradually turns off to the left. At this point, you might be ready for another short detour of about half a mile to visit Coldwich Abbey. If so, turn east along a dirt road running alongside a hedge. Colwich Abbey was founded around 1130 as an outpost of Kenilworth Priory and was dedicated to St Margaret. It was a medieval Augustinian priory. In 1532, it became a country house and was rebuilt twice over on the same site. The house hosted visits by several famous people, including Erasmus, Darwin, Handel, Anna Seward, and the philosopher Rousseau. Today, only the lodge houses, a stable block, and a fishing temple survive. Then turn right at a pool to reach a lodge house not far from the centre of the village. Elsewhere in Lower Elliston can be found Adam Bede House. This is a Grade 2 listed building, parts of which date from 1619. George Eliot, that's Mary Ann Evans, based her novel Adam Bede, published in 1859, on Elliston, named as Hayslope in the book. The title character was based on her father, Robert Evans, who was a carpenter and builder and actually lived in this house. And now we come to the final stage of the Limestone Way. It's just over 2 miles and easy going all the way to Rocester. Again, the guidebook is useful to carry along with the relevant Ordnance Survey map. From the centre of the village, head towards the River Dove by passing a profusion of road signs. If you can summon up the energy for a final detour, then walk over the bridge and turn left, following a footpath upstream for 300 yards alongside the river. Then you'll reach the strange machinery turning slowly in the River Dove. This is Norbury Weir. A local farmer is said to have installed this Archimedes screw to convert water power into a 100 kilowatts of electricity, which is enough to power 120 homes. A migratory fish ladder is situated between the weir and the Archimedes screw. Back at those road signs again on the other side of the bridge. Go through a stile and enjoy a view of Elliston Bridge. Follow the footpath alongside the river, noting various warning notices against illegal fishing. There's even a warning notice of closed-circuit television in operation. According to an app on my smartphone, these are common gill mushrooms growing on the side of an old tree. What wonderful autumn colour in these beech trees, where the River Dove is flowing peacefully alongside. At Dovely's Manor Park, the riverbank appears to have been eroded, leaving these trees somewhat isolated. Soon the Limestone Way leaves the riverbank and goes through woodland. However, if you see this view, then you've gone the wrong way and will need to retrace your steps. The footpath goes gently uphill and diagonally across a large field. This is the view from the top, looking back. Go over the stile, then carefully cross the road at Dale's Gap. After nearly 50 miles of walking, we are not about to be put off by a sign like this. According to a Google search, in general, bulls are not allowed to be in fields with public footpaths unless they are under 10 months old or are of a recognised beef breed that are accompanied by cows or heifers. The footpath gently descends, passing Barrow Hills. In the distance, you can see the world headquarters of JCB coming into view. This manufacturer of black hoe loaders and telescopic handlers was founded in 1945 by Joseph Cyril Bamford, hence the name JCB. Factory tours are available by advanced booking. Look out for a stile in the corner of the field. Carefully cross this road, then scramble up a steep banking and through a gap in the hedge. a slight dog's leg in the path, then the field. The fields in this part of England often have large pebbles, presumably scattered by meandering rivers millions of years ago. If you happen to know the answer, please leave a comment. Suddenly, we are in the outskirts of Rocester, passing a sports ground and through some allotments. Trend left after joining Dove Lane. Follow this through the Lich Gate into St Michael's Churchyard. During the Roman occupation of England, there was a fort at Rocester, and then during the medieval period, an Augustinian abbey. Now all that remains are humps and bumps in the field, showing the layout of walls. This area is protected as a scheduled monument. The JCB Academy is a school for 13 to 18-year-olds who have an interest in engineering and/or business. This sign marks the end of the Limestone Way, although this would make a better start for anyone who wants to walk with the sunshine at their back, lighting up the landscape ahead. In my opinion, Rocester could do a bit more to promote its Roman heritage. What better way of celebrating the completion of the walk from Castleton than a pint with friends? Thank you for watching.